What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and I'm back out here with the Hubsan X4 FPV brushless, and I have a few things to show you guys with it. So, a few things that I figured out flying this thing late last night. So let me just bind to it, or I have to do the calibration procedure real quick. Have to spin it around until the red light stops flashing. Then you put it up on the next axis and spin it around. And so the first thing I wanted to show you guys is that you can actually put this thing in manual mode. In other words, you can turn off the altitude hold. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you guys real quick. Show you that. The only thing is the stick still centers, so as soon as you let off the stick, it just goes up in the air and starts flying. So a little weird to be flying it around in full manual mode with the stick automatically centering. So you sort of gotta fight with it to bring it down. Well, the stick anyway, not the quadcopter. The quad comes down as soon as you lower the throttle all the way. It just falls, just like a normal quadcopter would. So, just wanted to show you guys that. And this thing flies really fast. It gets very sporty when you get it in this mode. You can like do funnels and all. Really nice funnels. Flies just like a normal quadcopter would. And so when you land it, so all you do is pull the throttle all the way down and it'll land. And so let me put it back into the normal mode. Okay, so it's back in normal mode. The second thing I wanted to show you guys, I got 10 satellites right now, so I guess I can show it. So there's a follow me mode on this thing. So I'll just, actually I'm not even going to spin it around, I'm going to just sit it right here. Put the GPS mode on. So it's on GPS mode where it's supposed to stay put. And so now I'm gonna, when you press down the right stick on this, it enters follow me mode. So it actually follows the transmitter. So I just activated follow me mode, so it turns around. And then wherever I walk, it follows. Should. So as you can see, it's following me now. When I stop, it stops. When I rotate around it, it should rotate too, but I guess there's a little problem with that feature there. But for the most part, it's following the transmitter. Let me bring it back this way. So it's following me. I'm not doing that. It's just going along with me. I guess you have to steer it to aim it towards you. It's like a car is coming. Okay, so there it is there. So it's out of follow me mode. I have to press that again. Okay, it's on follow mode again. So it seems to be coming. Let me bring it a little closer though. Okay, there. I put it in follow mode and it should follow me. And it is. So it has a follow me mode on this thing. I'm not going to try running right now. But last night I was jogging and it was following me. So the other thing is the return to home feature. But the return to home, I don't know that it returns to home when GPS mode isn't on, because I activated the return to home feature without GPS mode being on, and it didn't seem like it was coming back. So when you switch on GPS mode and then you fly off somewhere, you fly off over here, and you can take control of it if it seems to be going the wrong way or whatnot. And so when you flick up this right switch here, when you hit it up, that's return to home. And so it should come back and land where it took off from when I first acquired the GPS satellites. And so it's getting in position now. I'm not doing any of that. And now it's descending pretty close to where I took off from too. So it's very accurate. The return to home feature works really well. A little bouncy on the landing though, and it eventually slows down, but the props continue to spin. But you can't take off with the aircraft unless you remove the return to home switch. And now I turned off GPS mode. It's just an altitude hold mode. And so now I'm going to try that same thing. I'm just going to put it here and flick the GPS, the return to home switch, and it doesn't do it this time. It's just floating. It's just floating along. So keep in mind, you have to have the GPS mode on. You hit GPS. You have to hit the GPS switch up first, and then you flick the return to home, and then it'll return to the spot where you took off from. So I activated it again, and it's descending. The blue light, the rear lights start to flash blue when you activate the return to home. So I've learned what the different colors mean on the LEDs. So when the rear LEDs are flashing blue, that's return to home. When the rear LEDs flash green, that means you're in GPS mode. And when it flashes yellow, it's in altitude hold mode. And when it flashes red, that's when you're at low battery. And this thing is pretty fast too. And also when the battery dies completely, it'll come and return to home. I haven't tested that yet because I'm not sure what happens when you turn the transmitter off and then turn it back on. So I don't know if I can reconnect to the quad when I turn the transmitter off. When you turn the transmitter off, it's supposed to execute a return to home as well. So I haven't tried that yet. Actually, let me land it for a second. I'm just gonna land it. Well, I'm trying to land it. Okay, I had to stop the motors. Now, I'm gonna start the motors, and then I'm gonna put it in GPS mode. I have acquired 12 satellites, by the way, so it's in GPS mode. I'm going to turn the transmitter off and see what happens. So I just turned the transmitter off, and it seems like it's powering up, so I don't know about that. Okay, it did connect back to it. Okay, so it does connect. I guess since I turned the transmitter off, it was starting to try to find its way back home. Got me a little nervous there though. So when you turn the transmitter off, it does return to home, I'm guessing, and you can connect back to it. but you have to make sure the GPS hold switch is flicked up. If you don't switch it up, then it won't return to home or anything. So I think that's very important to know, that if you lose control of it or you lose orientation, you have to flick the GPS switch up. The GPS hold has to be flicked up in order for it to return home or anything. So, and of course you have to have more than 6 satellites, they say, in order for it to be accurate. One more thing, there's a headless mode on here. So in a headless mode, it's true headless. It works according to the position of the transmitter. So if I put it in headless mode now, which I just did, so now it's working according to the transmitter. When I push away, it's at an angle though, a little. When I push away from myself, it seems to go to the left angle forward. It's not really that accurate, but I guess it's accurate enough to bring the aircraft back towards you. Let me see, let me spin it around. Yeah, so it doesn't matter which way it's facing actually. So, and all, I'm pretty impressed with this thing. And I have noticed that this quad actually, the indicator lights in the rear that turn, it flashes red when the battery is dying. And I noticed when you do something strenuous for the system, like you do a throttle punch or anything like that, a lot of times the rear LEDs will turn red. So I guess it's measuring the voltage, because it'll go red and then it'll go back to yellow once you let off from doing a hard maneuver or something, a hard turn or throttle punch or whatever, or you're accelerating, climbing really hard. Those rear LEDs will turn red, but then they'll turn back to the normal color that they're supposed to be. It'll turn back yellow or green, whichever mode you're in. And same thing with the transmitter. The transmitter will say that you have no battery, no cells left in the battery. But then, once you let off the throttle, then it'll return back to normal. You'll see a true reading of it. So I guess that's all there is to show with it. This thing is pretty awesome. I like it. Especially the fact that you can take the altitude hold off. Let me try to land it and do that again. So you hold down the throttle stick and you press in the aileron stick, hold it down, and then a new menu will come up and you can select manual mode. You can actually set the sensitivity and the frequency of the 5.8 gigahertz FPV system as well. So you can change that. I think there's only 2 different frequencies that you can choose from though. Okay, I'm back in manual mode again to fly it like a normal quad. And the pitch angles get more steep when you're flying it this way. It's pretty awesome. Have to get used to the self-centering of the stick though, like I said. Flight time has been good, but you're not always getting an accurate reading on it. I miss the solid lights of quad flying this thing. I don't like the constant flashing. So no night flying with it really. No vigorous night flying anyhow. Let me bring it back. So I just wanted to show you guys what I found so far. Let me land this thing and end this video before I run out of space. So that's it, the Hubsan X4 FPV brushless. Thanks for watching.